Now, one of the topics that is always a matter of discourse, rather, in this country is that of traffic. And there are now new traffic rules. And Mutegi Njau is hosting Francis Major, who is the Director General of NTSA. For your comments, you want to get in the hashtag Power Breakfast and also send the same to 22422. What questions do you have about the new traffic rules? Mutegi Njau will be able to sample them for you. But now I hand over to Mutegi Njau and Francis Major.
Good morning, Francis.
Good morning, Mutegi. How are you?
You have told me there's nothing new.
Well,
there are no new regulations. What is there?
There are no new regulations. What is there is an administrative action by the judiciary to improve the process of convicting or dealing with traffic offences in the country.
So what did he do, the Chief Justice?
I think what is there is that the process of processing traffic cases has been largely very inefficient. And I think which we actually as NTSA support fully. And there is also a perception or something that has been going on that traffic offences are treated more or less like criminal offences. You find somebody involved in a traffic situation, you are locked into a cell with hardcore criminals. I think those are some of the things that are being addressed, and I think these are welcomed, and actually it's long overdue.
So what does it mean? That if you have a traffic case, you're arrested on the roadside,
yes,
because of whatever offense you have committed, you appear in court,
yes,
and you are fined, and if you can't raise a fine?
Well, if you are not able to raise a fine and you have been given adequate time to raise the fine, then you can be convicted and sentenced to a jail term.
Okay, adequate means what?
But before what happens is this. Let's give a practical example. Somebody is caught on a traffic offense. Before you are presented to a court, you are locked into a cell. I think that is what we are saying, that is no longer going to be possible. You should be given enough time. You should be given a notice to attend court and an opportunity to raise a cash bail for that matter. Then you present yourself to court.
Why is it that if, in fact, the Chief Justice is, I think to me, is holding the wrong side. When you are on the roadside, the other day somebody said I was talking on the phone. He said, I found me talking on the phone,
yes,
which is a criminal, which is a traffic offense.
Yes.
He entered my car. He said we drive to the police station. Why could he not give me whatever we wanted to give and go away and I attend court? Why does he have, first of all, to enter my car? Two, why does he have to tell me to go to the police station?
Let me say this, Mutegi. This is the first step that, this is a journey, and actually this is a first step in the long journey that we want to take. More importantly, I think in the long run, what we are working on, and we are actually working very closely with the judiciary and other stakeholders, we want to soon introduce what we call the instant fines regime. In an instant fines regime, what will happen is if you are caught in a traffic situation like the one you have given, I'm caught talking on phone while driving. If I should be accorded an opportunity, no, yes, you are caught speaking on phone while driving.
I say yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Do you admit it?
Yes.
You are given a form, you admit and say, yes, I have admitted. On that form, there is a schedule of what we call minor traffic offences, which is under Section 177 of the Traffic Act. You should sign the form.
When the policeman is arresting me, does he have the form with him?
That is what we are saying. Those are some of the things that we are working on, and shortly we shall be introducing them, so that you can be given an opportunity to pay the fine upfront without necessarily even appearing before a magistrate or appearing in court.
That's what happens all over the world.
That is what now we are working on, and shortly that is coming up. So the first step, I think, this is what the Chief Justice is a first step in the journey that we want to take.
But what I'm saying is they are starting the wrong way, or you are starting the wrong way. You should not wait until I'm there in the court. Why can't I sort out my problems on the road?
That's what we are saying. We are working on a framework. And we are in an advanced stage working on a framework to introduce instant fines. We've actually made a recommendation to the Cabinet Secretary to amend the minor traffic offences schedule in the Traffic Act to allow for this to happen. And the fines will clearly be defined. If it is overlapping, it is defined that to overlap, this is the fine.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things we are working, so that we even minimize the time that the judiciary have to go through to determine some of these minor cases, because there's a lot of congestion in traffic courts. If you look also at the process which has been going on before, if you look at things like cash bail, If you look at the time, for instance, a police controlling, a traffic police officer controlling traffic, if he's caught up with a motorist who is misbehaving, they have to stop that job, escort him to the police station, and the process is long and very inefficient. That is what we want to address by introducing instant fines, and I believe it's going to go a long way in introducing efficiency in the process.
By the time you go to court, maybe, you know, I know you are not in charge of policemen, but you are in charge of the traffic police.
Yes.
The other day, a friend of mine had an accident with a motorbike. A motorbike came and hit his vehicle when it was parked somewhere.
Yes.
The motorbike was seized, but they took him to the police, and my friend's car was also taken there. They told my friend he unparked his car wrong place. So they asked him to, is it called bail or board? He coughed 10,000 shillings through a text. He never got the money. He never was charged. Even the motorbike people are not charged. The matter ended with that man paying money, my friend paying money, and the motorbike people paying money. The matter ended there.
I think that is wrong, because once and some of the measures that you are seeing being introduced,
and
to
this was
address those challenges.
It was in Embakasi.
Those are
The
some
man
of
tried
the
to complain, he never got anything.
That's some of the things that we are saying we want to address, because if you look at the way the cash bills are being administered, it's a totally inefficient manner, very manual.
First of all, can you pay cash bill through M-Pesa?
No. I don't think you should, because what number
He
you
was asked to pay cash bill.
To what number?
The policeman number.
Obviously, that's a matter that can be picked up to be followed up, because then there's traceability of where this money was sent to. But what we want to do is this. Today, technology is there, and we must leverage on technology to address some of the challenges that we are having. The first thing we need to do, if I'm caught in a traffic offense, we want to come up with a government pay bill number. And there is already...
Yeah, exactly.
There's what we call the e-citizen portal, where you actually renewing even things like driving license online. Similarly, we want to introduce some of these fines to be paid online in that manner. If I admit that I am on the wrong, I should pay through a recognized, registered government pay bill number, which already actually exists. Then from there, more importantly, that record must go into your driving license history, because we have people who can afford to pay, and we don't want to make it a habit that because I can afford to pay, I continuously repeat the offense. It will go down into your driving license history, and right now, as you might be aware, the Traffic Act in 2012 was amended to allow for what we call a demerit system, where as you commit traffic offenses, you lose points on the driving license. That is shortly also coming. And we are actually in the final stage of tenders. We are in the final stages of a tender to award the procurement of a smart driving license. That will support the demerit system that we are talking about very efficiently.
In other countries, if you lose points, the penalty is when insurance goes up.
Correct.
In Kenya, what is the consequence?
It is very inefficient as it were right now. And I think the entry point, first of all, is to lose points and profile you as a driver, so that whoever will be insuring you can look at what type of driver are you. And it will give incentives to those drivers who are behaving well, so that they can have low premiums. Those who are losing points regularly then are classified as risky drivers, and therefore their premiums will naturally go up.
So is this exercise going through with the Kenya Association of Insurance?
Yes, we have had discussion. Actually, yesterday I was in a meeting where we had a meeting with the Kenya Association of Insurance, and they are welcoming some of these moves that we are doing.
So these moves then by the Chief Justice only affect the Chief Justice cannot instruct police what to do.
I think that's what we call the National Council for Administrative of Justice,
because
NCAJ.
Yes.
And the police are represented in it. And if you look at the communication, actually you can see that this was signed jointly between the Inspector General of Police and the Chief Justice. So the police are also involved in it.
One of these is notice that the notice shall state clearly the charges preferred and also indicate the maximum penalty each.
I think what we are saying is we need
to when you are arrested by the police, and that's why the problem is not in the court. The problem is in the police on the roadside and the police station. So that's why your attention should go.
Yes.
The traffic people on the roadside and to the police station. By the time you get to the court, it's a long affair. When you are arrested by policemen, they tell you this, like they are being told, for the penalty for talking on phone is 30,000. So the policeman says, I want 10.
Obviously, that is wrong. But what we are saying, Mutegi, is this. We want to have a transparent process where when you commit a traffic offense, it is clearly known and it is documented that if it is talking on phone while you are driving, it attracts a fine of X amount. And it is going to be defined in the form that we are trying to work on, so that there is no doubt, or you are not being told that it is 30,000 while actually it's supposed to be 5. You admit and you are told the offense you have committed is X, Y, Z. What is the corresponding fine for this offense? X, Y, Z. You acknowledge and sign. And you are accorded an opportunity to pay. And technology today is there to enable and facilitate some of these transactions. And that record goes into your driving license. I think that is the best way to do these things.
When is this coming?
We are hoping in the next 1 or 2 months we should be able to be up and running.
There is, somebody has written here that if you want to know corrupt policemen, please tell them to go and arrest the police near Karatina. They are the most corrupt in the name of speeding motorists. What do you say about that?
Well, I think what we are saying is it's good the public talks about these issues, because unless they talk about it, they may never be seen. But I think we will be, we are engaging to some of this. But we also want to tell the public, there is no point of view bribing, because for a bribe to happen, there is a giver and a taker. So why are motorists so easily being allowed to give money, especially the PSV industry? So easily they give in to some of these demands without even trying to say no. So we want to appeal to everyone. As we handle the issue of the police and corruption and issues like that, the general public also must play a role.
Good morning. Can you allow a day when we let traffic lights work in cities or towns without any police control and see how it goes?
Well, I think there's a problem with the traffic, especially in the city of Nairobi, because these lights are not signalized. So you'll find that one junction is indicating as red, another one is indicating as green. So there's a problem, and I think there's a program that to try to synchronize these lights so that they can be better movement. But I think I also stand with the position that when they are not working, they should be put on an amber mode. Therefore, not confusing motorists, because as it were right now, motorists are very, very confused. When it is red, you are being told to proceed. When it is green, you are told to stop. It is not sending the right message. And I think what we should champion for is to, when they are not working, then they should be put on amber mode, or they should simply be switched off and allow the police to control the flow manually.
There are many questions here from our viewers. Are policemen allowed to remove your insurance sticker during on a traffic checkpoint? Are they also allowed to take your number plate?
No, I don't think they are allowed to remove your insurance sticker at all. The number plates also, I don't think they shouldn't be allowed. The law says that whoever, the person only who is allowed to remove the number plate are motor vehicle inspectors if the condition of the vehicle
it cannot be driven.
If it has a problem, mechanical problem, then what you are given, what we call, you are given you are given a form that you are supposed to go and repair the vehicle and then and bring back the vehicle for certification that it is good enough to move on the road.
Hi, what do you do with the hit-and-run motorbikes, the riders?
Well,
always bumping into cars and the passenger and the pedestrians.
I think the best way is to take notice of the registration numbers. Then that can be forwarded because the registered owners are known, and then they can be pursued from there.
Mr. Major needs to drive around and see the road at roadblocks. Thieves, these are thieves called the policemen.
Well,
roadblocks.
That is a bit too harsh, but we must work as a country, all of us jointly, to resist some of these demands that are coming from. And I don't think if everybody decided that today we are no longer going to give bribes on the road, they will not arrest each and every motorist in this country. So I think also our motorists have been easily been giving in to some of these demands without questioning why.
The National Transport and Safety Authority officers by the road sign are aiding and abetting corrupt police officers. The police harass the people every day on the Embu-Nairobi road while ignoring the lawbreakers like speeding matatus and speeding Miraa vehicles. I have been to court several times because of speeding charges, but I've never come across any matatu or Miraa drivers charged with speeding.
I think I want to agree with you on that, and it's an issue that we must work on. Detection of, we shouldn't discriminate against any motorist. May they be PSV, may they be Miraa operators. No one should be discriminated against, and the law should be enforced fairly to all citizens and all motorists for that matter.
Could Mr. Major comment on the matatu plying Ongata-Rongai Road, and that is painted like a military vehicle? Some from Nairobi. I don't know whether you know anything about it. There's a matatu at Ongata-Rongai route, which is colors of the military.
Well, I'm not aware of that, but we can find out to see what it is.
What about Githurai buses that zoom past you at over 100 kilometers speed with impunity?
Well, may I say this on Thika Superhighway specifically? We have currently a team that we have deployed on that particular route. And yesterday we had a meeting with all the operators who apply that route. And I'm sure in the next few days you'll be able to see the interventions that we are putting on Thika Superhighway and Eastern Bypass specifically. We agreed with the operators yesterday. There are problems, and we are dealing with that.
So you are dealing with speed?
Yes, not just speed, even dropping and picking of passengers at undesignated point on the superhighway. We have noticed that is happening. People who are hanging on moving vehicles, and we have deployed our teams there, and I believe shortly you will be able to see the interventions that we are putting in place.
What is done about, there's a phenomenon of motorbikes, which is all over Kenya now. Boda bondas used to be Western countries, Western Kenya. Now boda bondas in every town.
Yes.
Who trains boda bonda riders? And which tests do they do?
Boda boda is a special problem because by the sheer number of boda boda riders we have in the country currently, it is a big problem. And it's a serious problem because they are floating traffic rules left, right, and center. We have developed regulations to govern this kind of sector, mode of transport. And shortly, we are actually having a national sensitization workshop. We shall sensitize all the police commanders and all the county commissioners on how to enforce and sensitize them of these regulations so that we start taming this problem before it gets out of hand.
Because it's already out of hand. If you drive around anywhere, you see a motorbike on this side, the other on this side, you don't know which way to go.
It is unfortunate that is happening, but yes, we must address it. It is a big problem, it's a big challenge.
Motorbike riders operate as if they are not part of the traffic.
It is illegal because the definition of a motorbike in the Traffic Act is just treated like any other mode of, any other type of vehicle. Therefore, this behavior that we see on the road is not acceptable and it's actually illegal. But Mr. Mutegi, I want to mention something else. In the month of May, we arrested about 19 PSV drivers who were drunk. 19 in the month of May alone. This is a new trend that we have seen. And it is very dangerous because somebody who is entrusted with the responsibilities of carrying passengers, drunk, is not acceptable. The law does not even allow any level of alcohol on a PSV driver. For a private motorist, the limit is 0.35% per milligram. But for PSV drivers and commercial vehicles drivers, you should not be traced with any trace of alcohol. It is shocking and actually very sad that a number of, among the 19 that we were able to arrest in the month of May, the alcohol levels were exceedingly high. That tells you the kind of risk these people are exposing to their passengers. And it's something that we are appealing to the PSV industry to be alert and to check their crew, because this is serious and we will have no choice but we have to revoke the licenses of those people who will be caught, because it's unacceptable, because the risk these people are exposing the passengers is unacceptable.
So you arrested 19, which I think is not much.
That is in Nairobi alone.
Yeah.
We were able to identify, during the day, 19 have been identified. And we shall be intensifying the checking as we move along.
So what are you saying? You are going to set up ACOBLUE?
We have, our teams now are fully equipped. They will be checking at random. They will be testing even their drivers, even during the day.
Which means you are targeting public transport vehicles or even private people?
Everybody, every motorist.
That ACOBLUE, it used to be very rampant of every weekend. These days they have kind of subsided.
No. I can tell you on average every weekend. Like last weekend on Thika Superhighway, we arrested about 67 people in one night. This is going on. Maybe it's just the involvement of the media that has been less, but it is a daily, it is moving on.
Let me go back to the viewer. It's a man called Kashungwa. He says that police officers in Kabete, who are very notorious in taking bribes. And he also asked, is it in order for traffic policemen to get into a vehicle and switch off your engine and remove your ignition keys?
Well, I think the only reason I can imagine why they do that is some motorists are stopped and they want to run away. But in an ideal situation where you have stopped, you have maybe alighted out of your vehicle, a police officer should not do that. But those are the inefficiencies that we are saying. That is a very inefficient way of administering some of these offenses. If you are caught in a traffic offense, what we are looking for is I should be told you have committed XYZ offense. If I say yes, I should sign the notice and I should be told this is the fine to pay it through this channel, and I should be allowed to proceed. That is what we are working hard to achieve.
If a policeman tells me he won't open the door, I want to come to your car, what should I tell him?
I think you should just tell him what is it that I've done. What
he will tell you, like he told me, you are talking on phone when you are driving.
Yes, you can say if you are talking on phone.
Then he tells me to enter my car so that we can go to the police station.
No, I think you have a right to refuse.
I have a right to refuse.
If you say let's meet in a police station,
tell me which police station.
Tell me, then let's drive and meet there. But that is what we are saying is inefficient, because it is time wasting for the motorist and the police officer himself.
But suppose he tells me to follow him to the police station and I drive home or wherever, I don't go.
I think what we need to
What
do...
will the policeman do? The poor policeman?
I think what you can do is that, I think what the ideal position is, first of all, maybe to hand over your driving license so that you don't run away.
Yeah.
So that then there is something that he can hold on to. But again, as motorists also, let's also help the police do their work. Let us not run away when we are told, when it is not necessary.
Yeah, it's a public duty to go.
To obey.
Somebody says, I am an investor in the Matatu industry. Kindly ask Ms. Major why we are being forced to pay 10,000 shillings for cashless stickers before our vehicles are inspected, even when the machines are not in use. I don't know what that means.
Well, I think there is a cashless, and one of the requirements to promote this project, they are saying that as you present your vehicle for inspection, you must have evidence that you have the gadget. Because we are actually, what we are doing is that we want to make sure that each and every public transport operator has a gadget, because shortly the cashless system where you will be required to pay by a card is the direction to go. And that will help us to minimize the issues of corruption that we are talking about here. Because we have realized that one of the reasons why the police are not doing their work is that there is free money in the Matatu industry. Even without asking, this crew are giving out their money willingly. But a situation where we don't have money in the vehicle, the police, I believe, will tend to be more responsible in whatever they are doing.
We give bribes because the fines are too high. If in court I will be fined 50,000, why don't I just give the policeman 1,000? It's better. It sorts out my problem.
Well, I think that is not the way to look at it. It is actually abating corruption, and therefore let's not just blame the police every other time that they are corrupt. What about the motorists who are giving these bribes?
Somebody says, what is the speed limit for Nairobi-Mombasa highway?
I think the limits are really, it depends on the section, and you are guided by the signage that is there. Some section 50, some 100, but the maximum is 110.
To clear traffic jams in this country, the best way is to coach motorists how to drive and use and respect traffic rules, since they do not know how to use traffic rules. This is the Lucy. Actually, if you go to highways, normally it's written there, unless overtaking, keep left.
True.
But Kenyan drivers don't know that. You see a truck going for miles and miles or kilometers, an old truck on the right side, not keeping left, inconveniencing everybody.
I think to me, it's not a question of not knowing. Because
But they do it.
if you went through a proper training school, those are the things, the basic things you are supposed to be taught. To me, it's a question of impunity. You know it is wrong, and you go ahead and do it. After all, there's nothing that will happen as long as you have some little money to give the police.
Matatus in Githurai 45 are very notorious in playing very loud music and overloading.
Yes, we have had some complaints, and that is one of the reasons that has informed us to have teams on Superhighway, and I believe we shall be addressing that issue.
So finally, before you go on, you have talked about drunk driving and what happens in court.
Yes.
What would you tell public transport vehicle owners?
I think it is a serious offense
Yeah.
for any driver of a public service vehicle to drive that vehicle when drunk.
They are owned and they're employed by SACCOs.
They are employed.
What can a SACCO do about it?
I think what we are doing is we are empowering the SACCOs to take charge of their crew. And we know what has been happening previously is that when I try to discipline a driver, he runs away to another company and SACCO. What we are doing right now is that we are giving new PSV badges that the name of the SACCO will be in the badge. Therefore, when a driver is being disciplined, you cannot run away to another SACCO because you'll be required to produce a PSV badge. So, and that information should come to us that we are disciplining the following driver and we have suspended him. Then we can mark it on our database. So therefore, this driver will not have an opportunity to go and work for somebody else. That way, we are empowering these companies and SACCO to rein on their drivers and their crew. And I believe that way, then discipline can start setting in.
Thank you very much, Bwana Major.
Asante sana.
I hope as a driver or a user of traffic, you know how to behave yourself. Personal responsibility is very important in this matter.
Thank you.